All right, so here I would say in step number 5, the follow up, this is the holy grail of continued repeat and referral business. Now, if you want to get the initial business, you got to get the first 4 steps, right? But the step 5, the follow up, is so important because it builds trust in clients. And here's how I do that. There's a lot of ways to follow up. I'm going to tell you my process and the way I do it. And I have a lot that I do that I'm gonna touch on, brush over. You take what you want to do. All of this has been created over the years of me recognizing what's important in the follow up, and I've crafted my own way of follow up. Everybody has their own way. So here's how I do it. When I finish and I wrap up a policy, I will mark them as with a tag of, let's say, sold or given a plan, or I'll mark it with a particular plan. 10 minutes after that, they'll get a text that will say, "Thank you so much for doing business with me. I'm super grateful. Make sure to save this number. Would love to continue to take care of you with whatever you need." So I'm sending a follow-up text 10 minutes after I get off the phone. I'm also then asking, before I get off the phone, for a 5-star review if I've earned it for my Google business page. I'm then sending them that within 5 minutes or 15 minutes of getting off the phone, whichever you want. That always, my Google review always comes after the text of, "Hey, thank you so much for working with me." The following day, so I've sent 2 texts out now. One for a review, 5-star review, so they remember me. Number 2, and I bump my business page for Google. The second thing that I'm doing is I'm following up instantaneously. After that, I will have my assistant call that person and say, "Hey, this is so and so. I work for Clayton. I wanted to just make sure all your questions got answered, to make sure you have everything that you need." Now, you can do this yourself, but I really like using a separate person to do it because it creates third-party validation. And what do I mean by that? Instead of someone feeling like they have to make me feel good about a conversation, they can be honest with that person. And so if I've missed something, then that is a great opportunity for that person to voice that opinion without making them feel like they're criticizing me, because people don't like to criticize today. So some of the feedback I've gotten when my assistant calls is, "Oh, Clayton was great. He knew his stuff. He asked me the right questions. We got the right plan, but I felt it was a little quick." And I got that feedback 3 or 4 times from my assistant because of that follow-up call. And people are like, "Man, I am so impressed with how organized you guys are. I love doing business with you." But Clayton was a little fast. I take that feedback. She apologizes to them, comes back to me and tells me, "Hey, slow down a little bit." And all I did was take an extra, now I take an extra 5 to 10 minutes and we don't get that complaint anymore. So these little things in the first 48 hours are huge. Google review, sending an extra text thing, "Thank you so much for working with us," an additional call the following day. Now, here we get into the additional follow-up. For text messages, for long-term follow-up, and I'd write this down. I send a text message on day 3, day 5, day 7, day 10, day 14, day 21, and day 30. And then after that, I send a text every 30 days. And I'm sending an email out as well. So the reason I'm doing this is I want people to be in touch. And my follow-up's like, "Hey, how are you doing? Do you need anything? Do you got any questions?" And everybody has my number saved at this point because they're getting so many text messages. They're getting so much follow-up from my system, my assistants. Whenever they call in or send a text message in, they're usually getting, someone's responding to them as well to that. So, and I can't begin to tell you, once I started to weave everything together, like not just the text messages, but the thank you text messages, the day after phone call, the Google review, and I would say those 3 things, by the way, the Google review, the day after text message, and the 24-hour phone call, that actually made the biggest impact on getting referrals. And then all the other things just help me retain the client. And then obviously they remember me, so they refer to more people. So the follow-up, if done right, is the golden goose to having repeat and referral business. And I can't begin to tell you how many referrals I get now from current clients because of those last three things that I always do. So if you do the follow up right, you're going to get a lot of repeat and referral business. And in the broker world of selling health insurance and really selling any type of thing, but like in the broker world, our goal is to turn ourselves into account managers, not to always be sales reps, not to always be trying to hustle on Monday to pay our bills on Friday. And that might take a couple months, but getting the constant drip of new referrals from clients without having to spend the money and then getting the retention of current clients is what makes it huge, because you're going to retain your clients if they're sending you referrals because they believe in you. Make sure you're creating a good follow-up system, whether you copy mine or create your own. Make sure you have some type of system and process in place so that way you can constantly get the referrals and keep the clients that you're bringing on. The follow-up is the golden goose of making sure you retain clients and find new business from your current book of business.